Hey fam, it's Chelsea
and Chris
of LBCPartyofFive, and welcome to today's episode of Chelsea and Chris on This, a podcast all about Black love, acceptance, and support,
while promoting awareness and understanding of the transgender community.
To keep up to date on what's happening next, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at LBCPartyofFive. We hope you enjoy the vibe, so let's get right into it. Welcome back to Chelsea and Chris on This. I am Chelsea.
I am Chris.
And today I wanted to discuss something that I feel like is not brought up enough within our community.
I agree.
When it comes to
transition,
there's a grieving process, especially to the supportive partner that one goes through.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's one of the things that I was not prepared for in the beginning, because it is like you're grieving the person that you know and love. Because you don't know what's going to happen and what's going to come of this. So it's like, I had to grieve the woman that you were.
Right.
While at the same time loving the man that you were becoming.
Yes.
And supporting the man that you were becoming.
So let's get into it. Okay, so from my perspective, I've never seen partners of people who transition till after, like, they're in their transition. Like, maybe, like, a year or two tops, you might see them. And they don't really, I feel like they don't get enough attention as to what you guys go through when we're going through what we're going through. It's usually just the partner. Like, oh, you got to be there. And then, like, kind of like,
okay, how do you do that, though?
Fuck your needs. Like, we'll get back to you later. So I'm very excited for this episode. So let's talk about it. Do you miss boobs, Chelsea? Missing boobs? Are you having boob withdrawal? How was it? What was it like? Take us through it.
Chris you never really enjoyed me, or anyone really, like.
No, I thought I didn't have any sensation, so I didn't really, just to backtrack even further, I never presented as, like, this high femme, beautiful specimen.
You might have to throw a picture up, but
please don't. For me, like, even thinking of, like, oh, like, you're so beautiful, like, I never got any of that. I never got catcalled, anything like that. So for me, like, I never had a bond with, like, I'm a strong black woman and, like, I'm a woman. Like, no.
He always claimed to be like a hybrid.
Right. I very much never felt
and I should have known,
or.
Actually,
you probably
by
should have
that.
known. Yeah.
But,
yeah, I never felt, like, in female spaces, anything like that. In the locker room in high school, oh my God, stressful. Because I'm, like, trying not to look, because that's not great. I felt like a creep. It's different
but not
podcast.
Even a stud. You didn't even.
No, I didn't even like
that.
No. Studs were always, like, skinny and had abs and could dance, and that wasn't me.
Not the ones I've seen.
Well,
I mean, not all the ones I've seen.
But the ones I would see, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, they're attracted to this. Like, women are attracted to this type of, masculine presenting aesthetic, and it wasn't me. Like, I wasn't, doing all the body rolls with the abs. Like, that wasn't me. So I was hit. I felt like, I was like, damn, like, I'm just in the middle. So I say all this to say, when I met Chelsea, it wasn't like I was hyper feminine.
Right.
When
he
we
was
met.
Always very masculine
Right.
presenting,
Correct.
but obviously I knew that he was.
I had some accessories.
Yes.
Yes.
And you would always downplay. You would like joke about your chest.
We could say it. They're breast.
I don't know if you wanted me to say. Remember the orangutan titties?
That's amazing. That should be amazing.
Do you remember that though?
No, I would tell
you.
I
remember walking in the mall, like the first date that we had. We were walking in the mall.
I told you that on the phone. We was on the phone and you was like, talking smack, like, a little bit of like Beyonce in the car. And I was like, no, like, I don't think you understand what I got going on. Like, I didn't want to shock her. Like, running. But I did try to, like, prep you, like, these are not, like, maybe the boobs that you are familiar with. Like, these are this is some new shit.
Because they were kind of big. They
were large, very large.
And I should have known these things. Now that I'm thinking about, because you never really liked to take your bra off either.
I did?
No, like it. Oh, like I'm talking about during like I think you didn't like the feeling of them, like.
I don't. What? I always took my bra off.
No.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Uh-oh.
I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's odd. I don't remember that.
I think it was just because of the movement of it. Like you didn't like that feeling.
Oh yeah, them just swinging.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
You know,
so that's.
Watching TV, they just on your neck. Like get these things off me.
I don't mean to sleep. I just mean like you know like when it was like that when we were being intimate, like you would have your bra on.
I'm so baffled by this, and I'm not okay with that. I'm so
that
sorry.
was the signal to me, like, okay, you don't want them touched because they weren't exposed to me.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You're not thinking about nobody else? Because
really.
I'm pretty sure, like, my bra has been off. These things had some
like
time.
sleeping and stuff like that. But
no, we won't argue about it. Are you sure?
In this space, in this house, yes.
I don't recall.
At the apartment, no, but at this house, yes.
Maybe I felt a little more free. Whatever. Anyways.
But so yeah, he was never hyper feminine, very masculine presenting. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't. Like, for me, the physical changes that would happen were not big shocks to me because
it was
like your
slow.
hair was already right. It was slow progressing, and but I still felt like, especially in the beginning, that I was like I'm losing. Like I felt like I was losing. Mm-hmm. I was losing you because I don't know what you're gonna turn into. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even just am I gonna like it. It was just.
I remember you being very concerned about me being attracted to you after my transition.
Yes, that was a bit because the exposure that I had to those type of relationships, that dynamic, weren't successful. Like they weren't still together. Mm-hmm. And if they weren't still together, then I think there was only one that still remained
married.
No. I mean like even into women still. Oh. The other ones, they did. Oh. Which is fine. It's not a matter of...
They were attracted to men.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it wasn't a matter of... That's not something that is a thing. I'm not saying that that's a thing. It can happen. Right. But it's not just because you're... Right. It's not just because... I know that now. It's not just because you're transitioning that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of, when one is coming into themselves and they're able to explore other parts of them. And sometimes that may change, sometimes it doesn't. It took a lot. When I tell you a lot, for me to be who I am, and that was going to change everything.
You thought, right?
I thought that was going to change everything, like me in the lesbian spaces, or even being able to still claim
to be lesbian. Yeah, and you got to fight like.
I fight more against other. Well, not so much anymore. But insane. I was fighting more against other people, other members of the LGBT community than I was with hetero people. Like
and language and it's always evolving, and like new discoveries are always changing. And they were hitting you with the "you're not a lesbian, you're a demi-goddess," such a sapphic.
And there can be. I'm not even gonna get into that because there can be other, other.
But they were hitting you with like some words I had to like really look up because I was like, wait, what? Like. No, like I know who you are, and I know if I keel over, like, watch out, ladies. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. She's coming for you, taking no prisoners. Just put it out there.
Well, I'm glad you know that because.
Oh, I know.
Because that is something that I did at one point in the beginning, not grapple with, but just like because I wanted to explore, like, does this change? Mm-hmm. And for me, it just didn't. So it is what it is, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of other couples that I know of now that we've been so like out in the open on social media and everything. We've grown into a larger community where I know I'm not the only one, and this is it's nothing new. It really isn't. Like this is always trans men have always been included in lesbianism. For this purpose, for these situations. Right. Not saying that he's still a lesbian. It's just that he's still able to be within that space. I know you don't feel as comfortable like that, but that's going on another thing.
Right.
But
Right. So once you found out that I was going to transition and you grieved what could be, how did you feel about like after my top surgery? Once my voice changed, you know, those kind of changes. Did you ever wake up and be like, whoa, what the?
No. Like I said, nothing was really by surprise. But I enjoy it. To me, it was like discovering you all over again. Like it was, but this time it was without the mask on.
Right.
So I was able to see you.
There was nothing to hide anymore.
Right.
Right.
And seeing him so comfortable in his own skin, and seeing that it didn't change the way that he was with me. If anything, it did change for the better. But seeing it actually in real time, I didn't realize that until we got to like the 1 year mark. That's when I was surprised. I was like, dang, we made it. Like I'm like, wait a minute, it's been a year already. This is it.
And I think that's when we both saw the changes in such like a in your face thing, because when I do my 1 year on T video, go check it out on YouTube, you hear my voice change. And then when we get to the first video, we crack up laughing because, like, you know, that's where we were, and then here we are now. So.
And it's amazing, really, to see the transformation. When you're in it day to day, it's kind of hard, but when you zoom out, it's amazing. It was an amazing journey, and I'm glad that I was able to stick it out. Because even I was always going to, you know, be here for you. I was always going to be here, but it just, you know, it may have been in a different capacity, but I'm glad that it still remained the same.
Yeah. So you don't like just lay out like 3 a.m. like, I wish I had some boobs to squeeze.
It's not about the boobs. It's not about the titties.
That's what people. I just feel like no one talks about these things, like, you know.
I will say though, we had a photo shoot for my 40th birthday, and it was this was my like rebirth, like. I don't even know what to call it, but I was just like, it was more than just feeling myself. It was just like, this is me, and I'm proud of who I am. Yes, I'm a mother. Yes, I'm a wife, but this is me.
You're owning it.
Yes, I was owning so it was a little risque. It was a boudoir photo shoot.
It was a lot of
boudoir. Yeah. And it was a group of us. It was me and my best friends. And I will say that is the first time that I was like, oh, that's what... You see?
Right. This is what women's skin feels like. I've been touching this rough, dry patch. Yeah.
So I say, well, okay, yeah. You know how girls, we just be, you know, not touching each other like that.
I've never had that experience. Like, girls making out in the locker room. No, they must have known something, because they would always turn. It was never, Chris.
Oh, they always come to me.
What's this? Like, I didn't get none of
Bring
that.
Bring it over here.
It was very much like, I don't know about you. I can't put my finger on it, but we'll go in the bathroom and change. I never had that experience. So please tell me what it's like.
No, we're not going to go into that. Maybe off camera.
Tell me what happens in the female boudoir shoot.
But I did notice it then. Like, oh, wow, like, I do like those.
Yeah, boobs, yeah.
Because we're in nothing but lingerie. And
yeah, soft skin and boobs, nice, yeah.
But I love this too, though. Like, I didn't stop. After he had his surgery, I would not stop. Obviously, when he healed up. I love touching you, though. And it's because of all those I haven't been able to for so long, and now I can just. This is all
right. But in all honesty, there was no sensation there. It was like touching my arm. Like it did nothing for me. So like even in the past, like my past partners, they'd be all excited, and I'm just like, I don't get it. Is this over? This part.
But I can tell because the way that you're.
Oh, well, my face says it all.
Yes.
I'm just like.
I'm like, okay, I won't do that.
All right. Are we done with that? I mean, do the fun stuff now. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, this is boring.
I know.
Like, imagine somebody like, you like that on your forearm. You're like, no, I don't. Are we done? That's what it was.
Oh my God.
So it wasn't like.
You're taking it well, like in the sexual realm. Like I'm not even
I'm just saying, like we're talking about grieving your partner. Obviously, I had breasts. Now I don't. I'm just asking. Somebody might relate to it. Like, yeah, I miss titties, and you're like, me too, a little bit.
You need a support group for the
titties. Do, right? Lost titty group, lost titty friends. I don't know, but it's a real like no one's talking about this.
No,
the partners are trying to be very
Because it does. There's a lot of things that like we're playing and being fun with it now, but like in the moment when it's happening in real time, like because you do feel like everything is all about the transitioning partner, so your needs are really not to say that they're not as important, but they're not.
They're not. I'll be the first to admit it. It was not. Your needs.
But I'm saying for myself, my needs were not less important, but it was something that did have, like, yours took precedence over mine.
I will. Okay, I agree with that because it was like I'm sad about boobs. I'm like, don't misgender me.
But there's a learning process. There's a you know what I mean?
There's a grace period.
Right. There should be at least. Like it shouldn't be like because sometimes it takes the person longer to realize that they are trans. So when you do come out to your significant others or just people around you or whatever, you got to give them a little bit of grace because
we've been living with ourselves for so long. So like I was 30. I didn't transition medically till 33. So for 3 years, like I'm chilling. Like I already know who I am, but I'm not verbally sharing it. So then when mistakes happen. That's when people are like, no, you didn't. That was a joke. But even like the name, like, but anyways, instead of like, because I'm already here in my head, if someone was to misgender me, I'd be like extra because like I'm 3 years in this, but like you're like 3 minutes into it.
I just wish that there was a way where. And I get it. I get it. All the focus is on that because there's so many things that come with that, like with doctors and with therapists and all this. So there is a lot of focus on that. But there still has to be some room like that. That's one thing I would recommend strongly. You do need to bring your partner along with you, and like if I would have known from the beginning, it wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying?
We could have avoided some potholes
that
we hit. Yeah, I agree. But sometimes you don't have the language. Like you don't know until you know.
I know, and I get that. But at the same time, because it is a lot. It is a labor of love for the supporting partners.
Or friends and family. It's a lot. We're going through a lot. That's a lot. These hormones, testosterone is not a little beast. It is not. That could take you away to places that you never thought you'd be. Seriously. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
And I wouldn't have believed that if I hadn't had to take testosterone for the trying to conceive process.
Oh my gosh.
So I was able to like conceptualize a little bit, like okay, that little outburst, okay, that was just the tea. Or you just, you know what I mean, like he needs to be on the right doses. Let me just leave him alone right here, and I'll come back. Like so, there are many times where it'll feel like they're like volatile, like and you know what I mean.
And we are.
Like I don't want it to be like a scary horror story.
It's not a scary horror story, but it is the experience. Like there's a lot happening. It does feel like a boiling. It feels like. It feels like a pot of ramen that's about to go over the side. That's what it feels like.
You just gotta simmer it down a little bit.
Simmer it down. Just stir it. Like, hey, what's going on? What's up? How you feeling? What's going on? You know. But when she was on testosterone, I used to call her Chuck. I'm like, yo, Chuck, what up, bro? Call me that. Ooh.
I was a different person.
Oh my God, that was scary. Open your mouth.
And that was only for. That's the time I flipped you off.
Oh my God! I was like, "What is this?" No, you're not about him. I was like, I think I've just been violated. That was crazy.
Oh my
I
god.
was like, ooh, when you getting off of this?
Yeah. So I get it to an extent.
Yeah.
I get
so
it.
imagine that all.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Mine was
time.
only for a month, and
Yeah.
I get it. But at the same time,
Yeah.
like you really have to separate. Like it's so hard and difficult to even explain because it's like you have to be in the mix, but at the same time remove yourself so you're not. So you're protecting your own feelings. Because if I took any of the shit personally, we wouldn't still be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like.
You don't mean it. You're just hungry. Yeah. You're just hungry. That's just how it goes sometimes.
That's how it goes sometimes. So even when you feel like in the moment, that's why do not make any rash decisions when you're in those type of spaces.
Calm waters, clear
Yes.
skies. Make your decision.
Remove yourself and come back. But I mean, like obviously with the understanding that we are going to.
Right. Let's put a pin on this. Fuck your pin.
See, and y'all think like he's a jokester, but he
what? What?
I could run the tapes back, okay?
Oh,
you
Lord.
were a little
Perfect.
demon at sometimes.
Was not a demon. Was perfectly wonderful. Prince Charming.
You wanted to be big.
I tried.
She wasn't.
I tried. I did the best I could do. It's a lot.
But it gets better. It does get, once you make it past that hump,
yeah.
it is.
But I did have a time crunch too. I felt like.
Again, you putting so much pressure on yourself, and
it's all me. I'm the problem. But these are the things that we pick up in society. These are the little things that we learn. Like my thing was like I gotta be head of household. Like I gotta have my shit in order. Like so I had to like rush a few things. That's why I'm in therapy now. Yeah.
We're still together.
This is why my therapist. How about once a month? Nope. No, I feel sad. See you in 2 weeks.
You're ridiculous.
No. But yeah, grieving your partner is a real thing.
Yes, and it's normal to do so.
Right. And it's not negating or diminishing what I was going through, but you did need that space.
Yes.
And, I hope that, this reaches who it needs to reach, but, there needed to be a space, and I hope that you guys are creating your own spaces.
Well, that's the goal. That's the goal with this, guys. So.
Right. Because it would have been hilarious to see your videos and compare to mine, and I'm like, oh, everything's going great.
Yeah.
And you're like, this? You know what happened last night? That's how the video starts. Let me tell you what happened last night. Yeah. So,
But that's why I wanted to document it, though, because it's like,
more
you
people
don't
need
realize.
to document it, yeah.
Yes. Because you don't realize how much, like, there's. It's so much.
Yeah. And then, like, now, because I transitioned in 2016, it's like, man, time has passed. So, like, you might have forgotten, like, some stuff. So it should happen, like, that first year, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was saying, at the first year mark, once I realized that we got there, I was like, wait a minute. We made it. This is it. Like, And
then after that, it's just, you're evolving as a person. Like, everybody's like, oh, how's it being, how did you handle Chris's transition? It's like, okay, what about all the stuff that happened afterwards? That was just like a pit stop, a rest stop, and then we got back on the highway.
But I feel like with all the tools and the tricks that we picked up, though, it's like there has something, I don't want to, I'm not challenging the universe here, but there's nothing that has been.
Never mind.
But there's nothing that we haven't been able to work through together.
Why can't you go ahead and say that?
Why
can't you just say we've been through some stuff?
Is that not the same thing?
It sounds different. Universe, listen, shame you.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
There's nothing that, because we're prepared. We are.
Yeah. We had a rough road.
Listen, if any of that shit that happened in
I know. I just wanted like a nice patch of highway. We good. cruise control, just for a little bit. So don't go summoning.
I'm not.
All right.
I'm doing no such thing.
Okay.
But it is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible. But please allow yourself that time to grieve, because it really is a grieving process, and even to do it with your partner, if they're. I mean, if it's not triggering for them, of course.
So what helped you, like, when you're like, yo, I really miss whoever?
The only thing that I missed, and it was all in my head too, though. Like, I'm thinking I have to let go of who I am. That was the biggest thing, was letting go of who I am, and I didn't have to.
You don't. You just come along.
Because I ain't letting nobody tell me who I am and who I'm not. Like, I know who I am.
No, I'm telling you, I feel bad for them. Better hope I live forever.
If you too concerned about a stranger on the internet, baby,
yeah,
I'm gonna need you to book an appointment.
Yeah,
with a therapist, with a professional, because it is not that serious. What makes us happy and works for us doesn't have to work for everybody, but when it does, it is what it is, right? Yeah. It should be celebrated.
This is just one way. I'm just one trans person. This is just one spouse. There's multiple
different dynamics,
multiple universes that this can unfold in other ways. So this is our story.
Love is love. As cliche as that sounds, that's what it is. Like, if that don't mean that, then, you know what I mean? Like, how can you say anything negative about this dynamic when love is love? You can't help who you love.
But it's work.
It is.
And it's a choice. Because there's some days that you're just like, I could sense it. I'm like, oh, she want to throw this book at me. Let me go ahead and let me just go clean something else. Or, like, you know. But you know what I mean? It's a choice. It's a choice. So just keep making that choice if you want to.
So we'll see you next time.
All right.
Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, send them on over. You know how to reach us.
All right. Later.
Lay you back.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Chelsea and Chris on This.
If you enjoyed the vibe and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, share, or post about it on social media. To keep up with us and all the latest, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook at LBCPartyofFive.
There you will find more about us, connect with our community, and learn how to submit your own questions.
Or meet with us one-on-one. And if you made it this far, welcome to the Vibe Tribe.
Thanks again. And we'll see you next time to check the vibe with LBC Party of Five.